Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Celtic fans aren't happy. They aren't happy with the club right now. And we're going about that in a minute. Yesterday, Mikey Johnson was going to Burnley and then it was said that he was going to Sheffield United. Where Celtic were apparently...
Celtic are interested in Sheffield United's Austin Trusty. The 26-year-old American defender joined them from Arsenal for £5 million last summer. He's played internationally for the USA. He can play either at centre-back or at left-back.
With that being said, they're probably wanting a lot more than the $5 million they paid for him. And Mikey Johnston is alleged to be worth $5 million to Celtic. And I had seen people online yesterday saying, there's no way is Mikey Johnston worth $5 million. Remember at the last transfer window at Christmas, we got £3 million in for David Turnbull, who had 6 months left on his contract. We got £3 million for David Turnbull, who did only have 6 months left on his contract. Mikey Johnson does have at least a minimum of a year left, so he's got to be worth $5 million easily with the fact that he's got a year left on his contract. So people saying, is Mikey Johnson better than David Turnbull? I'd actually say yes. But then again, Turnbull scored a lot of goals for us. It's horses for courses. As long as we get good money for him and we get another player in, I don't really care, to be honest. But the Celtic fans are not happy, and they'll probably be a bit unhappier after when they read this. I'm going to go into some of the comments, and the Celtic Football Club Twitter feed yesterday after the luxurious culture wear styles with sleek Celtic not detailing. We'll go into that in a minute. But Dermot Desmond, a lot of people have been saying, Dermot needs to splash the cash. He needs to splash the cash. How much is Desmond's shares really worth? And people are saying that, somebody will buy them. Well, the current value of his shares is 1.8 million. 1.8. No, it's not. It's 108 million bahts. Jesus. 1.8 million. I'd buy them for that. Oh, fucking wouldn't. It's 108 million. The value is shares. 108 million, 43 pounds, 143. Anyway, here it is on the screen. It's too early in the morning. I need my coffee. And the missus is telling me to hurry up because I've got to take her to get her nails done. It's all about priorities in this house, isn't it? Dermot Desmond bought his first shares in 1994. He paid £863,000 paid in by Dermot Desmond. He then paid $3 million in 1994 for some other preference shares. The ordinary shares, remember, you didn't get a dividend on them. But you get a dividend on the preference shares, so he bought £3 million worth then. In 1999, when Fergus McCann did a share release, he pumped in another 7.9 million into Celtic, and then in 2001, he had some ordinary shares, preference shares turned to ordinary shares. Is that? No, it wasn't. It was weird shares. But anyway, he pumped in another 10 million then. He pumped in another 1.2 million in guest share price in 2002 at a guest share price. That's interesting. And then in 2005, when there was a share issue, he pumped in another 7.9 million. In total, he's pumped into Celtic 31 million in his own cash over the years since 1994. And he's taken out in dividends. In salary, he's taking out $500,000, and in dividends, and he's taking, in total, he's taking 7.3 million out of the club since 1994, which is taken back out as part of his investment in a dividend. But the value of his shares today is 108 million. 108 million. So that does value Celtic quite high. But that is with the current share prices the way they are. So anyway, you've seen that on the screen. It's just a little bit different information for you this morning. Celtic fans were left bemused last night. Once again, Celtic put another announcement. Yes, it wasn't a birthday wish to an ex-player. It wasn't a birthday wish to the tea lady. It was, yes, you get it, some more merchandise. Yes, they've done it again. Not only have they come out with 3 strips so far this season, it's about time they thought, you know what, we need to get a little bit more merch out there. We made 32 million in worldwide sales in merchandise last year. We're going to have to do that again this year. as if we're not getting enough money from the Champions League. And we're going to dive into the comments because a lot of the fans are not happy. What's more luxurious is keeping players. The next one said, pre-order this. And it has, well, I'm just going to show it on the screen actually. If you're gullible, says the next one, don't care, sign players. Do not. I'm going to put this one on the screen. And yeah, do not sell Kyogo, as in not. How about that? That's all I'm going to say on that matter. Here's an idea. The board bonuses should be related to how we perform in Europe. That would force change of policy, I bet. That's a good one, actually. Sign some players. And you can see where this is going. We're not buying your merchandise until you sign players we need. Our fans are the biggest cash cows in world football. They're not. Leicester... Leeds actually sold more strips than us, more merchandise, and we were about, I think we were about 8th in the world, but Leeds sold more strips than us, which is unbelievable when you look at that. And the next one is Frimpong sold inferior replacement. Grumpy Greek sold inferior replacement. Is Adam Ida inferior to the Grumpy Greek? I think he's a better player, and I think that he's a player that wants to be at Celtic. He's a player that's not going to moan about the fact that if he doesn't get a game for 90 minutes, the Grumpy Greek had so many things going against him at Celtic. Let's not go down that road. Jota sold, inferior replacement brought in. Matt O'Reilly sold. Guess what's coming next? It's only good money if a decent replacement is bought, which hasn't been the case. Tell that to Brendan Rodgers. Anyway, we'll move on for that. I will stick a 50p in Nicholson's arse and let him speak. Celtic FC are either totally unaware or shameful, or do not give an F, and they will bleed the fans dry. Well, it's not back in return. Read this, you effing gimps. read the effing room, you gimps. Don't usually comment, but honestly, read the room and piss. What is this? Read the room. Do you think that anyone in Celtic, even apart from John Paul Taylor, when he gets messages to him, do you think people at Celtic actually read the comments online? No, they don't. They've just got a job. The guy who posts this on, or he just clicks send. He doesn't go in and read the comments. He's on his next task. And that's the way that it should be. But anyway, I don't want to upset anybody this morning, just because I think people are a little bit tender just now. Don't use the comment, but honestly, read the room and piss off with the merch sales. We're starting to see our hard-earned cash being used to improve our team, says KM. Jay then goes on to say, see, for a change, why don't you use some money you have to improve the team instead of trying to fleece the fans out of more money? Wee Drew says, didn't even get a friendly or a cup game in the season ticket this year. Thinking about it, I've had a season ticket card for years. Sell Kyogo, and I'm stealing a shark from Deep Sea World. That's a bit much. And how the fuck... How you got... Oh. It's just random walk up a shark under your arm. That's not going to work, is it? I love Twitter. It's the most bizarre place ever in the world. Stop tweeting us to buy merchandise, sign some quality players so we have enough money in the bank, or leave the club. It's the poor guy that does the social media feed. If he's reading this, he'll be like, oh, fucking Jesus, here we go again. Do I need to pick this one, boss? Yeah, just send it. Enter. Starting to get very embarrassing now. Is it? Really? Starting to get really embarrassing now. Bringing in new strips and merchandise to sign, and still to sign. Oh, Jesus, I can't even be bothered reading it. Sell more first team players. Embarrassing. Back the team. Sack the boards. I'd like you to do some typing up some new players instead of punting this We are a football team, not a fashion outlet. Oh, Jesus God. Ange would have had the squad nailed to the deck already. It's Ange's players that we're letting go. It's Ange's players that aren't deemed good enough. So I think that we need to stop this Ange love now. I mean, it has been over a year since he's gone, and I think that Brendan has taken us to the next level when it comes to squad. You look at the players that are in the process of leaving and are leaving, they were all brought in under Ange Postecoglou. Do you know what I mean? And the players that were brought in last summer, the 9 of them, were pretty much signed off before Brendan walked in the door. We're all in agreement with that. The only one that Brendan got to bring in last summer was a panicked last-minute decision to bring in Nat Phillips because it's a defender that he thought he knew and trusted, but he was absolutely wash. But let's get this. Let's leave the Ange love behind because Brendan's been in and been doing a fantastic job. The way that we're playing football just now is absolutely unbelievable. I think we're going to be a lot more defensive and tight at the back this season than ever before, and I think that will transfer to European football also. So for me, I think it's just time to forget. And at the end of the day, Ange was asked, would you ever go back to Celtic? And he said, no. Would you ever go back with an ex? No. As simple as that. We were part of his journey, right? We were all part of his journey. He used us to get to where he wanted. And that was it. You know, and he did exactly what he wanted. So we need to stop this Ange love. Anyway, how about you open your wallet before you want us to open ours again? I genuinely think that we are becoming a joke of a club. More a kit and training gear launches this summer than players. Well, you can't really go with that one, can you? Can't not go with that. It is what it is. And let's just get to... We've got 7 days left. We do have 7 days left in the transfer window. And I, for one, I'm excited with the type of players that we've been linked with and that we're going to bring in. And I think that the club will surprise everyone. I think they will surprise everyone. If we are after this American defender and we're also after the Liverpool left back, and not the Liverpool defender, the Sheffield Wednesday defender and the Liverpool left back, and we get in a couple of midfield players and we get in another striker, I think that we're going to sit back in 7 days' time and I think there might be a lot of people with egg on their face. I'm hoping that. And I personally think that Brendan Rodgers will get his way. I did do a poll on the video last night, on the live last night, which was amazing. We got over 600 odd votes on that. So thank you to everyone who did vote. And there was over 3,000 views on that live, which was amazing. But I do think that a lot of the fans do not think that the board will back Brendan enough. I think that they are trying their best to do it in the background. I think it has been a difficult summer. And I think a few spanners thrown in the works by selling Kyogo. If we bring in a decent third striker and play Dyson through the middle, because we can all agree that Dyson Maida's crosses aren't the best. You know, his crosses aren't the best, but play him through the middle with that pace, and he'll score more goals, just as many goals as Kyogo. So I'm not too worried about the situation. For once, and everyone remembered, we spoke about it last night in the live, and I had my big moan during the summer and said, look, we're well into July and we've not bought players, but we're well into August. And I was correct with having that moan. And I think that the realisation now that what Celtic are actually doing in the background is actually going to be far superior than anything that we've been used to. That's my hope. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. If you have watched to the end, thank you. And I mean that. Thank you. Thank you that's watched this video right to the very last moment, because you are one of the most amazing people in the world. Anyway, have a great, fantastic day to all the Celtic fans around the world. I don't usually do a live on a Friday because there's not a lot of people around. People are doing other things and stuff. It's Friday night. Let's get on it. Let's get on it. Get on it. Get on. Anyway, I better go because I've got to take her to get her nails done. Hasta luego.